Coming to you from a Haley's Sports Bar and Grill, where every underage kid here is saying, please don't ask for my ID, while the 21 and over crowd is saying, what in God's name am I doing here? This is First in Fantasy, and I am your host, Mr. Nils. Hey guys, I'm back, ready to serve you guys once again. Sorry for the lack of podcast last week. Just did not have was not in the right mindset to do it. So I'm back this week and ready to give you guys what you want, which is fantasy football all day, every day. First off, I want to get started by saying, just recapping the last couple weeks. The biggest surprise of all, Mr. Steve Mastrovic. Game of Maroons. My goodness, 4-0. This kid came to play this year, people. While other people are sitting there pouting, not getting it done. He's just out there doing his thing, making the right calls each and every week. He's 4-0. Won the matchup of 3-0 teams last week between him and Tough as Nils. The kid has got it this year, and looking at his team, it's a solid one. I mean, as the season goes on, you just respect it even more. Drew Brees, you got Julio, you got Steve Smith. Those are two of the top 3 or 4 wide receivers in the game right now. So props to Steve, because he's calling out all the naysayers and he's getting it done, and I love it. It's so good for the league. On the other hand, you got the 0-4 teams. You got Jeremy, Team 215 Bad Boy. You got Jim and Josh, both at 0-4. Jeremy, I could kind of see the writing on the wall for you at the beginning of the year. Jim and Josh, not so much. I thought both those teams were going to be solid. I mean, who would have thought that Jim's 0-4 with Peyton Manning at the helm? But I'm looking at the rest of his team. It's just not. It's not getting it done for him. Hopefully he can turn it around. Hopefully Peyton can come to play and get him some 50-point games or something to help him get that win. Josh, I talked to him earlier in the week, and he's not all but given up. I wouldn't say that, but he's definitely looking down on his team. And it's tough. It's tough when you're 0-4, sure, but guys, you're never out of it. 0-4. You rattle off 3-4 wins in a row. All of a sudden, you're back to 500, and that is, 500, just above 500, maybe even just below 500, can get you in the playoffs in this league. 8 of the 14 teams make it, so you're never out of it. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. That's all I have to say about that. And the other teams staying strong in the middle there. Just some general stuff. We'll figure out who's who within the coming weeks. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But anyways, right now after the break, we will come back and I will make my weekly predictions like you guys love so much, and after that we will get ready for week number 5 coming up. So we will be back right after a short commercial break. Arriba! Come on down to Los Mariachis for our dishes filled with your choice of mystery meat, mystery beef, mystery chicken, mystery fried dog, mystery steak. While you're at it, grab one of our world-famous frozen margaritas. Let's be honest, that's the only reason people come here anyways. They'll have you saying, como me llamo, in no time. Los Mariachis, always an decision. Welcome back to First in Fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm ready for my weekly picks once again. Welcome back. Let's get right to the point here. It's going to be another good week. Not a ton of crazy great matchups. There's some good ones, some decent ones out there, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys got. Some of the I think maybe the 4-0 team could be in trouble this week, but we'll see. There's some upsets that I think could happen this week. Anyways, Steve, I do have to say I'm sorry I didn't get to do a podcast last week, because I would have made you the game of the week probably for the first time all year. It's not going to be you this week, but last week you definitely showed up and really got things done. But this week I'm going with the game of the week is between still personally my favorite team in the league, Matty Ice and Easy, versus Oh Cry Me Some Rivers. I love this matchup. It's a very intriguing matchup. Mike has DeMarco. He's been the number one running back in fantasy. He's been the number one running back in football. Rockwood, like I said, all the way through is my favorite team, though. I think led by Matty Ice and company, that offense is high flying. It's going to get things done, and I think you'll pull this one out. No, I'm sorry. I do not think that. My fault. I do think Mike pulls off the upset here. I think that he can. I think the matchups he has this week favor him a little bit more. I think he pulls off the upset of, like I said, still my favorite team. I think Mike wins this one 130 to 120. Anyways, rattling off the final games. The Gemiolos, sooner not later, will win. Going up against CJ in Toughest Nils. You have Rogers going tonight, but CJ has Jordy Nelson, and he's bound to catch a touchdown tonight against a subpar secondary in Minnesota. Foles going up against the Rams should have a big week for CJ as well. I think this one is Toughest Nils all the way. I don't think it'll be all that close. Tonight we'll tell you whether or not Connor will be able to take this one. I think it's at the end of the night. It's going to be very interesting to see where Connor stands after tonight. But this one will be close, I think. In the end, I think Connor has a little bit better matchups than Jared this week. So I think Dream Creamers over Get Off My Ditka in that one. AJ versus JQ. I mean, that's all you really have to say. This is a bitter rivalry that is sure to be a bloodbath between two guys who desperately want to beat each other. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Shady breaks out this week against that struggling Rams front seven. I think he finally breaks out. I think Josh gets his first win over AJ. These teams haven't been putting up crazy numbers this year, but I think Josh will put up the numbers he needs to this week to outlast AJ. So backfields and McCoy over Busta Kaepernick in that one. Jim, there's Peyton, and then there's not much else. I didn't see you going 0-5 with Peyton at the start of the year, but I can see it happening this week against a tough Marshawn Lynch-led team that Bill has. I'm not sure if you have enough to get by him. Bill's team is solid, also at 3-1. I think Gemiolo show over Peyton Sandy Cabana. Surprise of the year yet again, Steve-O at 4-0. Looking at your team, I still scratch my head at times. I mean, to me, it's not like the craziest team I've ever seen, but I mean, I think it's. I mean, looking at what guys you have, you're a 4-0 team, I suppose. It's working. You're proving everybody else wrong. You have the first and fourth ranked wide receivers in fantasy so far this year, not to mention the third ranked Bills defense. Gimmo Marones wins the trial by combat. You like that, Steve? I hope you like that. Over Cruise Control. Justin, please change your name. You don't have Victor Cruz anymore, so please change that. Otherwise, I will make somebody do it for you. Last but not least, Jeremy. Hopefully Carson can go for you this week. But Le'Veon Bell is poised to have a big week for Tony up against the Jags this week. J-Dab, you might need to start making some moves. At 0-4 because Demaryius Thomas, Doug Martin, guys like that. I mean, Demaryius is a solid player. Doug Martin, not so much. They're not really doing it for you. So, Heisenberger's over Team 215 bad boy in that one. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Yet again, get ready for football tonight. Thursday night football between the Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. It should be another good one, and I'm looking forward to yet another week of fantasy football. Thank you for listening to First in Fantasy.